What if I told you that procrastination isn't about laziness, but fear? You sit down to work, but suddenly everything else seems more interesting. Your phone, the fridge, even scrolling through comments on a video like this. Hours pass, and you tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow comes and the cycle repeats. The ancient Stoics had a method to break free from this trap, a mindset so powerful that once you master it, procrastination loses its grip on you forever. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to take action immediately. Procrastination isn't just a bad habit, it's self-sabotage. It steals your time, drains your confidence, and keeps you stuck in a cycle of regret. You tell yourself, I'll start later. But deep down, you know later never comes. The Stoics believed that delaying action is the quickest way to weaken the mind. They saw hesitation as a disease, one that grows stronger the more you feed it. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus all had one thing in common. They refused to wait for the right moment. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. In this video, you'll learn how to break free from procrastination using 10 powerful Stoic techniques. Each one will push you closer to action, closer to discipline, and closer to becoming the person you're capable of being. Because the truth is, you don't need more motivation, you need movement. And once you master this, procrastination will never control you again. Let's dive in. We like to think procrastination is just laziness, but that's not true. It's fear in disguise, fear of failure, fear of imperfection, fear of discomfort. When you put things off, you're not avoiding work, you're avoiding an emotion. Psychologically, procrastination happens because your brain seeks immediate pleasure over long-term rewards. It's called delay discounting, where your mind chooses short-term comfort over future success. That's why scrolling your phone feels easier than starting that difficult task. Philosophically, the Stoics saw procrastination as self-betrayal. Seneca warned that while we waste our time hesitating and postponing, life is slipping away. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you could be good today, but instead you choose tomorrow. To the Stoics, procrastination was a rejection of duty, a sign that you're letting your emotions control you instead of taking control of yourself. But the good news? Once you see procrastination for what it really is, you can dismantle it. And that's exactly what we're going to do next, with 10 powerful Stoic techniques. 1. The discipline of action. You don't need motivation, you need momentum. Imagine a man standing at the foot of a mountain every morning. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment or a burst of motivation, he simply puts one foot in front of the other. Over time, those small steps add up to a powerful momentum that carries him higher than he ever thought possible. This is the discipline of action. Consider Marcus, a hard-working individual who always believed that if he could just feel motivated, he'd conquer his endless to-do list. Yet, every morning he woke up feeling overwhelmed by the mountain of tasks ahead. One day, he decided to try a different approach. He committed to just 5 minutes of work, no matter what. At first, those 5 minutes seemed trivial, but soon, that simple act created momentum. He began to notice that once he started, the work would continue on its own. The tasks that once paralyzed him slowly transformed into a series of small victories. Action creates momentum. You don't have to wait for that spark of motivation. Beginning the task, even in small doses, builds energy over time. Small steps lead to big changes. Much like a river carving through rock, persistent small actions can lead to monumental transformations. Transform inertia into progress. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment, trust that every action propels you forward. Tomorrow morning, set a timer for just 5 minutes. Begin that task you've been putting off. Often, once you start, you'll find it easier to keep going. just as Marcus discovered on his climb. 2. Embrace the dichotomy of control. Procrastination often stems from worrying about everything beyond your reach, fears of failure, perfectionism, or uncontrollable outcomes that keep you frozen in place. The Stoics teach us to distinguish between what we can control and what we cannot. When you embrace this dichotomy, you free yourself from needless anxiety and can focus on taking concrete actions instead of being paralyzed by uncertainty. Imagine you're staring at a mountain of tasks. It's overwhelming to think about every possible variable, the quality of the final product, how others might judge your work, and even unforeseen interruptions. According to the Stoic principle, however, you only have power over your own actions, thoughts, and effort. The rest, how things turn out, external opinions, and random events, are beyond your control. By shifting your focus exclusively to what you can influence, you dissolve the mental clutter that fuels procrastination. Instead of spending time worrying about the perfect outcome, you concentrate on the process itself, one small, manageable step at a time. Consider the story of a Stoic student named Lucius, who was assigned a major project at his academy. Instead of panicking over every possible mistake or external factor, like unpredictable feedback from his teacher, Lucius did something remarkable. He broke the project into tiny, actionable steps that he could control. He dedicated his mornings to research, afternoons to drafting, and evenings to reflection. When unexpected challenges arose, he calmly acknowledged that while he couldn't control the disruptions, he could always control his reaction. Over time, his consistent effort led to a project that wasn't perfect, but was robust enough to impress his mentors. His success wasn't born from a stroke of genius. It was built on the simple, steadfast focus on what he could change. Practical steps to apply the dichotomy to procrastination. 1. Identify what's in your control. Before beginning any task, write down what aspects you can directly influence: your work process, your effort, your focus, versus those you cannot: outcomes, external opinions, unexpected delays. Remind yourself, I can control my actions today, the rest is beyond my power. 2. Let go of perfection. Recognize that obsessing over an ideal outcome is futile. Instead, aim for progress. When you catch yourself hesitating because you want everything to be perfect, pause and ask, is perfection within my control right now, or is it a distraction from taking action? Accept that mistakes and imperfections are natural parts of the process. 3. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Set a timer for a short burst of focused work, like 5 or 10 minutes, and commit solely to the task during that period. Once you're in motion, you're less likely to be distracted by worries about the end result. Celebrate these small wins. They build momentum and reinforce that what you do matters more than the uncontrollable end result. 4. Reframe obstacles as challenges you can tackle. When confronted with a daunting task, break it into smaller pieces that you can complete step by step. View each mini-task as a victory over procrastination, proof that you're moving forward despite uncertainties. Practice. Daily reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to journal about what you accomplished and what you couldn't control. Reflect on how focusing on your actions, rather than external outcomes, made you feel more empowered and less stressed. This practice reinforces the mindset of focusing on the controllable and gradually diminishes the urge to procrastinate. When you embrace the dichotomy of control, you reclaim your time and energy. You no longer waste precious moments worrying about variables you can't change. Instead, you concentrate on the actions that propel you forward. This simple shift in mindset is a powerful antidote to procrastination. It transforms inaction into deliberate, focused steps toward your goals. Remember, every time you choose to focus on what you can control, You're taking a stand against procrastination. You're proving to yourself that your potential isn't defined by external circumstances. It's shaped by the actions you take right now. 3. Use Memento Mori, the power of mortality reminder. Time is slipping away, don't waste it. One of the most profound lessons of Stoicism is the constant reminder of our own mortality, known as Memento Mori. This isn't about being morbid or pessimistic. It's about recognizing that every moment is precious and that delaying action is, in essence, delaying your life. You're sitting at your desk, scrolling endlessly on your phone, postponing a project that could change your life. In that moment, consider this. Every minute you spend procrastinating is a minute you'll never get back. The Stoics believed that by reflecting on our finite nature, we gain clarity on what truly matters. There was a man named Caius who lived in a bustling ancient city. Caius was known for his wisdom and relentless work ethic. Every morning he would pause and remind himself that life is fleeting. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment to act, he would immediately tackle his tasks, aware that each tick of the clock was a moment of potential wasted if left idle. When challenges arose, instead of delaying or making excuses, Caius would recall that every setback was simply another minute of life lost if he did nothing. His legacy wasn't built on grand gestures, but on the small, consistent actions he took daily, motivated by the awareness that time was his most valuable asset. Start your day with mortality reflection. Dedicate 1 minute each morning to reflect on the finite nature of life. Remind yourself, today is all I have, make it count. This sets the tone for a day focused on action rather than delay. Visual reminders. Place a subtle reminder near your workspace, a small clock, a quote, or an image that symbolizes the fleeting nature of time. Every time you glance at it, let it spur you into immediate action. Convert fear of death into urgency. Recognize that procrastination often stems from fear of failure, of not being perfect, or of change. Instead of letting that fear paralyze you, flip it. Let the thought that I'm running out of time drive you to act decisively. Use time-based goals, set deadlines for yourself that aren't arbitrary, but are fueled by the understanding that time is precious. For instance, if you need to complete a task, assign a strict time frame and commit to finishing it, knowing that delaying means losing a part of your life. Evening reflection. At the end of each day, journal for a few minutes about what you accomplished and what you didn't. Reflect on how much time you spent on actions that matter versus time wasted in delay. Use these insights to plan a more productive tomorrow. By constantly reminding yourself of your mortality, you strip away the illusions that tomorrow will always be there. Procrastination thrives on the comfort of an indefinite future, but when you internalize that every moment is fleeting, you become fiercely determined to act now. Memento Mori transforms procrastination from a habit of delay into a catalyst for urgency and action. Each time you embrace this reminder, you make a conscious choice to live fully. You reject the luxury of endless delay and commit to harnessing every minute for progress toward your goals. 4. Apply the 5-minute rule. Start for just 5 minutes. Action kills resistance. Imagine facing a task so daunting that your mind immediately rebels. Writing that important report, cleaning your cluttered workspace, or even starting a workout. Often, the sheer size of the task makes you freeze, and procrastination takes over. The 5-minute rule is a simple yet powerful Stoic technique designed to shatter that inertia. The idea is straightforward. Commit to working on your task for just 5 minutes. Those 5 minutes may seem trivial, but they are the gateway to overcoming the resistance that holds you back. Once you start, you'll often find that the momentum carries you forward far beyond those initial minutes. Consider the tale of a young scribe in ancient Rome named Gaius. Every morning, Gaius would sit before a massive scroll filled with work he knew he needed to complete. The scroll was daunting, and every time he sat down, his mind filled with excuses and doubts. One day, an older Stoic mentor advised him to simply commit to writing for just 5 minutes. Reluctantly, Gaius agreed. At first, it felt like an eternity, but as soon as he began, the words started flowing. Before he knew it, those 5 minutes stretched into an hour of uninterrupted work. Gaius learned that the hardest part was always just getting started, and that small acts of commitment could conquer the greatest hurdles. How to apply the 5-minute rule? Set a timer. Begin by setting a timer for 5 minutes. This short time frame feels manageable even when you're overwhelmed. The ticking clock serves as a gentle nudge, urging you to start without the burden of thinking about the entire task. Commit fully for 5 minutes. For those 5 minutes, commit all your focus to the task at hand. Don't worry about perfection or outcomes, just take action. This practice is about breaking the barrier of inaction. Once you begin, your mind typically overcomes the initial resistance. Ignore distractions. During these 5 minutes, eliminate all distractions, turn off notifications, clear your workspace, and tell yourself that this is a moment solely for action. The goal is to immerse yourself fully, even if it's just for a brief period. Build momentum. Often, you'll find that after 5 minutes, you're in a rhythm and feel compelled to continue. Even if you decide to stop at 5 minutes, you've at least proven to yourself that starting is possible, making it easier to resume later. Reflect and reward. After the timer ends, take a moment to reflect on how it felt to take action. Celebrate that small victory. This positive reinforcement builds a habit loop where action replaces hesitation. The 5-minute rule works because it bypasses the mental block of starting. Procrastination often thrives on the fear of a massive, daunting task. By breaking it down into a tiny 5-minute segment, you reduce the psychological barrier and allow momentum to build. Once you start, the inertia that kept you in place is shattered, and you realize that the task is not as insurmountable as it appeared. Every time you use this rule, you chip away at procrastination, reinforcing the habit of action. It's a practical, accessible technique that embodies the Stoic principle of taking control of your actions, even when motivation is low. Keep a dedicated timer app or a simple kitchen timer nearby. Whenever you feel the pull of procrastination, challenge yourself to just 5 minutes. Soon, those 5 minutes will become a powerful ally in your fight against inaction. 5. Lower the bar and focus on progress, not perfection. Progress beats perfection every time. Many of us get stuck waiting for the perfect moment to start, or we procrastinate because we're haunted by the idea that what we produce must be flawless. This pursuit of perfection creates a huge mental barrier, one that paralyzes action and traps you in an endless cycle of delay. Imagine this scenario. You have a big presentation due, but every time you sit down to prepare, you get overwhelmed by the idea that every slide must be perfect, every word impeccably chosen. Instead of making progress, you end up tweaking and reworking endlessly. Days slip by and the perfect presentation remains out of reach. This isn't just about the work, it's about how your quest for perfection stops you from moving forward. Consider the story of a young artist in ancient Athens named Aeneas. Aeneas dreamed of creating a masterpiece that would be remembered for centuries. However, every time he picked up his chisel, he would find fault in his work. "It's not perfect enough," he'd say, and then he'd put his tools down. One day, a wise mentor told him, "A masterpiece is built one stroke at a time. Don't wait for perfection, aim for progress." Aelius took that advice to heart. He started by setting small, achievable goals, sculpting just one part of the statue each day. Over time, the imperfections faded into a work of art that, while not perfect, resonated with passion and dedication. His progress, not the unattainable standard of perfection, became his legacy. Set modest goals. Instead of aiming to complete an entire project flawlessly, break it down into smaller, manageable tasks. For instance, if you're writing a report, set a goal to draft just one section at a time. Each section completed is progress, no matter if it isn't perfect at first. Embrace iteration. Recognize that every first attempt is just a starting point. Allow yourself to make mistakes and learn from them. Every revision brings you closer to your goal. Celebrate small wins. Focus on what you have accomplished rather than what's missing. Take a moment to acknowledge even the smallest step forward. This positive reinforcement builds momentum and makes you less likely to be stalled by the fear of imperfection. Shift your mindset. Remind yourself that perfection is an illusion. What matters is that you are moving, growing, and improving. Replace thoughts like, "This isn't good enough," with, "I'm making progress and that's what counts." Time box your tasks. Give yourself a set amount of time to work on a task without worrying about making it perfect. When the timer goes off, move on to the next step. This prevents endless tweaking and builds a habit of completion. Lowering the bar isn't about settling for mediocrity, it's about prioritizing progress over perfection. Every action you take, no matter how small, builds your momentum and reinforces your capability to get things done. By focusing on progress, you shift your energy away from paralyzing self-criticism and toward meaningful growth. When you learn to celebrate progress rather than obsess over perfection, you free yourself from the chains of procrastination. You begin to see every step forward as a victory, empowering you to tackle larger challenges with confidence and resilience. Create a progress journal. At the end of each day, write down one thing you accomplished, however small. Over time, this journal becomes a powerful testament to your progress and a reminder that every step counts. 6. Amor, Fati, love fate, even the hard parts. Accept discomfort and act. Anyway, accept discomfort and let fate guide you to growth. Amor Fati, literally love of fate, is one of the most transformative Stoic principles. It's the idea that you should not only accept everything that happens to you, but love it, including the hardships and setbacks. When you embrace your fate, every challenge becomes a stepping stone rather than an obstacle. You've planned a productive day, but then unexpected setbacks occur. A computer crash, a sudden emergency, or even a simple mistake that derails your schedule. Instead of spiraling into frustration and postponing your work further, you choose to see these setbacks as part of your journey. You remind yourself that every moment, even the difficult ones, is an opportunity to learn and grow. There was once a Stoic named Titus who faced continuous challenges, losses at work, personal setbacks, and failures that could have broken a lesser man. Instead of resigning himself to misery, Titus embraced every setback with a quiet smile. He would say, "Everything that happens is necessary for my growth." Over time, his resilience became legendary, not because his life was easy, but because he learned to love every twist and turn, understanding that each hardship was a gift that propelled him forward. His ability to accept and even welcome discomfort allowed him to take decisive action regardless of circumstances. Reframe hardships. Instead of seeing obstacles as reasons to delay, view them as challenges that fortify your character. When you encounter a setback, ask yourself, "What can this teach me?" Embrace discomfort as growth. Recognize that every bit of discomfort, whether it's a tough task, a harsh critique, or an unexpected failure is a chance to build resilience. Practice this by intentionally doing something outside your comfort zone regularly, such as a cold shower or a challenging workout. Accept what you can't change. List the aspects of your task or day that are beyond your control and consciously decide to focus on your reaction instead of the outcome. Remind yourself, fate is working in my favor even if I can't see it right now. Turn setbacks into opportunities. Each time you face a challenge, write down one positive lesson you've learned from it. Use these lessons as motivation to push forward, reinforcing the idea that every hardship is a part of your growth. Daily affirmation. Begin or end your day with a personal affirmation that encapsulates Amor Fati, such as, "I embrace my fate, for it leads me to greatness." Let this affirmation guide your actions and help you stay focused on progress, not perfection. By adopting Amor Fati, you transform your mindset. Procrastination often stems from a fear of discomfort and the unknown. When you learn to love every part of your journey, even the painful parts, you strip away the power of that fear. Instead of delaying action because of potential setbacks, you eagerly anticipate the growth that comes with each challenge. This radical acceptance turns obstacles into fuel, pushing you to act regardless of circumstances. Every time you embrace fate, you reclaim a bit of your time and energy from procrastination. You learn that inaction is not a safe haven, it's a missed opportunity for growth. And with that realization, you begin to see that every moment, no matter how challenging, is a vital part of your journey to success. 7. View procrastination as self-betrayal. Would your best self approve of your choices today? Imagine looking in the mirror each day and asking yourself, am I living up to my true potential? Every time you procrastinate, you're not just delaying a task, you're betraying the best version of yourself. This technique is about recognizing that when you put off important actions, you're compromising your values, your goals, and your future. A story to illustrate the principle. Consider a young scholar in ancient Rome named Flavius. Flavius was determined to become a renowned thinker, but he struggled with procrastination. Each day, he would set aside his studies, distracted by trivial pursuits and the lure of immediate comfort. One day, an elder mentor noticed his struggle and said, "Flavius, every moment you delay is a moment you betray the potential of your best self. Ask yourself, would your highest self approve of how you spend this day?" That simple question struck a chord. From that moment on, Flavius started holding himself accountable. He began by writing down what he could accomplish each day and comparing it with what he actually did. Over time, this habit of self-reflection transformed him into a disciplined, focused scholar whose achievements far surpassed his earlier struggles. His legacy was built on the conscious decision to stop betraying himself moment by moment. How to apply this technique to defeat procrastination, self-reflection, journaling. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on your actions. Ask, did I live up to my best self today? Write down moments when you procrastinated and analyze the reasons behind it. This honest reflection helps you identify patterns and triggers. Visual reminders. Place a sticky note or a small card in your workspace with the question, would your best self approve of this? Every time you feel the urge to delay, look at the reminder and let it prompt you to act. Set personal standards. Define what it means to be your best self. Write down your core values, goals, and the standards you want to live by. Compare your daily actions with these standards. When you see a gap, let it motivate you to take action next time. Accountability, partner. Share your commitment with a friend or mentor. Let them hold you accountable by checking in on your progress. Sometimes, Knowing that someone else is aware of your goals and struggles can push you to act rather than delay. Positive affirmations. Develop a mantra such as, "I honor my potential by taking action now." Repeat it whenever you catch yourself hesitating. This reinforces the belief that every moment counts and that you deserve to live up to your highest self. Why this technique matters. Viewing procrastination as self-betrayal shifts the perspective from mere inconvenience to a fundamental challenge against your own integrity and potential. It forces you to confront the internal conflict between who you are and who you want to be. When you start to see delays as betrayals, you become far more motivated to act, not just for the sake of productivity, but to honor your true self. Every time you choose action over delay, you send a powerful message to yourself. I deserve to be my best, and I'm willing to work for it. This mindset creates a cycle of positive reinforcement that gradually erodes the habit of procrastination, replacing it with a commitment to continual growth. 8. Practice voluntary discomfort. Train yourself to do hard things willingly. In today's world of endless convenience, fast food, instant entertainment, and a lifestyle that caters to every comfort, voluntary discomfort might seem counterintuitive. But the Stoics believed that stepping out of your comfort zone is essential to building strength, resilience, and discipline. When you regularly expose yourself to small, manageable hardships, you condition your mind to overcome the inertia of procrastination. Picture a modern-day warrior, Alex, who had grown complacent in a cushy routine. Every day was predictable and easy, but Alex felt something was missing, a drive, a fire. One winter morning, Alex decided to take a cold shower instead of the usual warm one. At first, the shock of the cold water was almost unbearable. Yet, as the initial discomfort faded, Alex realized that this small act of willpower ignited a spark. Over time, Alex began seeking out more challenges, working out in the early morning cold, skipping unnecessary comforts, and even choosing to work in a less-than-perfect environment to test focus and discipline. These small acts of voluntary discomfort slowly but surely built a robust mental toughness that spilled over into every area of life, banishing procrastination and fueling productivity. How to apply voluntary discomfort to beat procrastination. Start small. Begin with minor challenges that are easily integrated into your daily routine. For example, take a cold shower for 30 seconds each morning, or skip your regular mid-morning coffee break. These small acts are like daily workouts for your mind. They prepare you to face larger challenges. Schedule regular discomfort. Designate specific times or days where you intentionally do something that pushes you out of your comfort zone. This could mean working in a quiet, less-than-ideal environment, or setting aside time for a challenging workout even when you'd rather rest. Reflect on the experience. After engaging in an act of voluntary discomfort, take a moment to reflect on how it made you feel. Journal your thoughts, acknowledge the initial resistance, and then the sense of accomplishment that follows. This reinforces the habit of embracing hardship as a pathway to growth. Use it as a catalyst for action. When you find yourself procrastinating, remind yourself that you've trained to endure discomfort. Replace the urge to delay with a quick bout of discomfort. If you can take a cold shower or do a short burst of exercise, you can overcome the mental block that procrastination creates. Gradually increase the challenge. As you build tolerance, slowly increase the level of discomfort. For instance, extend the duration of your cold showers or challenge yourself with more intense workouts. Each step reinforces that you can handle more than you thought, reducing the fear of taking on difficult tasks. Procrastination thrives on comfort. It's the enemy of growth and progress. When you deliberately expose yourself to discomfort, you train your mind to see challenges as opportunities rather than threats. Voluntary discomfort builds resilience, making the hurdles of everyday life seem smaller and more manageable. It creates a feedback loop where overcoming discomfort feeds your confidence, making you less likely to delay action when it matters most. Every time you choose to face discomfort willingly, you send a powerful message to yourself. I am capable, I am resilient, and I will not be held back by the lure of easy comfort. This mindset not only helps defeat procrastination, but also sets the stage for a disciplined, high-achieving life. 9. Create a now or never mindset. Waiting for the perfect time, it doesn't exist. Procrastination often thrives on the myth that the perfect moment is just around the corner. We convince ourselves that someday, when conditions are ideal, we'll finally act. But in reality, that perfect moment is an illusion, and every minute you wait is a minute lost. Imagine you have a brilliant idea for a project, but you keep postponing it because you're waiting for the right time. Day after day, you convince yourself that tomorrow will be better. Yet, when tomorrow comes, circumstances are never flawless, and the cycle of delay continues. This mindset is the very essence of procrastination. Consider the tale of Caius, an aspiring entrepreneur in ancient Rome. Caius had a vision for a business that could change his life, but he kept postponing his plans, waiting for a perfect market condition, more resources, or the ideal moment when all variables aligned. As years passed, his competitors, who embraced a now or never attitude, seized opportunities and grew their ventures. One day, a mentor challenged him, saying, "Caius, perfection is a myth. The only moment you truly have is now." That moment of clarity transformed him. Realizing that waiting was his greatest enemy, Caius began taking decisive, albeit imperfect, actions. His bold moves eventually led to a successful business that thrived on momentum rather than perfection. How to develop a now or never mindset. Acknowledge the illusion. Recognize that waiting for ideal conditions is a trap. Remind yourself that no matter what, conditions will always be imperfect. Understand that every moment spent waiting is an opportunity lost for progress. Embrace imperfection. Accept that your actions don't have to be perfect to be effective. Every imperfect step is still progress. Replace the pursuit of perfection with the pursuit of progress. Set immediate, actionable goals. Break your tasks into small, actionable steps that you can start right now. For example, if you plan to write a book, commit to writing just one paragraph today rather than waiting for a burst of perfect inspiration. Create a sense of urgency. Use deadlines to force immediate action. Even self-imposed deadlines can create the pressure you need to act. Remind yourself regularly that each moment of hesitation delays your journey to success. Reflect on missed opportunities. Regularly journal or think about times when delaying action held you back. Let these reflections fuel your determination to seize the moment in the future. Adopting a now or never mindset transforms procrastination into action. When you commit to acting in the present, you build momentum, reduce anxiety, and cultivate a habit of decisiveness. This shift in perspective is essential, not just for overcoming procrastination, but for unlocking your full potential. Every decision to act immediately is a step toward a more productive, fulfilled life. The Stoics remind us that life is fleeting. Instead of waiting for perfection, seize the imperfect moments and make them count. Ask yourself, will I let another moment slip by, or will I take action now? The power to change your life lies in your ability to act today. 10. The evening reflection, journaling for accountability. At the end of the day, did you live up to your potential? Imagine ending your day with a clear mind, a moment of quiet reflection where you review every action, every decision. For the Stoics, this daily ritual wasn't just a habit, it was a powerful tool for self-mastery. It's about holding yourself accountable and continuously learning from your experiences. At the close of each day, take time to step back and ask yourself, did I live up to my potential today? Journaling isn't about harsh self-criticism, it's about honest evaluation. It's a chance to celebrate progress, learn from setbacks, and prepare yourself to tackle tomorrow with renewed energy. Consider the story of a Stoic scholar named Marcellus in ancient Rome. Every evening after the bustling day had ended, Marcellus would retreat to a quiet corner of his modest home. With a simple scroll and a reed pen, he would record his thoughts and actions. He noted the moments when he acted with courage and discipline, and he also recorded times when he procrastinated or let fear hold him back. Over time, these reflections became a mirror that showed him his true self. Marcellus learned to recognize patterns, adjust his strategies, and steadily improve. His daily journal wasn't just a record, it was a blueprint for growth and a testament to the power of accountability. How to apply evening reflection to defeat procrastination. Set a dedicated time. Choose a consistent time each evening, perhaps right before bed, when you can be alone with your thoughts. This is your time to wind down and reflect without distractions. Reflect on your actions. Ask yourself, what did I accomplish today? Where did I procrastinate and why? Write down specific moments when you delayed action and identify what triggered that procrastination. Identify lessons learned. Instead of dwelling on the negatives, focus on what you can learn from each experience. Note down one thing you could improve for tomorrow. For instance, if you wasted time on social media when you should have been working, consider setting specific time blocks for work and breaks. Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge even the smallest actions that moved you forward. Write down what you did well, no matter how minor it may seem. This builds positive momentum. Plan for tomorrow. End your journaling session by setting a clear intention for the next day. Define 1 or 2 key tasks you want to complete, knowing that action tomorrow is built on the lessons of today. The evening reflection is more than just a daily routine. It's a catalyst for transformation. By reviewing your day, you confront procrastination head-on. You learn to see it as a habit to be broken, not a part of your identity. Each reflection is a step toward greater self-awareness, and every small insight compounds into lasting change. This practice not only holds you accountable, but also reinforces the idea that every moment counts. By asking yourself at the end of the day if you lived up to your potential, you create a powerful feedback loop. You become aware of your tendencies, celebrate your progress, and adjust your actions to ensure that procrastination no longer stands in your way. Imagine standing at the crossroads of your life, one path filled with endless delays, regrets, and missed opportunities, and the other paved with deliberate, purposeful action. All the Stoic techniques we've explored today, embracing the dichotomy of control, using Memento Mori, applying the 5-minute rule, lowering the bar, practicing Amor, Fati, viewing procrastination as self-betrayal, engaging in voluntary discomfort, adopting a now or never mindset, and the transformative power of an evening reflection are not just isolated practices. They form a cohesive philosophy that can radically transform your relationship with time. Think back to a moment when you hesitated, a project left unfinished, an idea delayed, a goal postponed. Now envision a version of yourself who, instead of being paralyzed by fear and self-doubt, takes a deep breath and acts. This is the turning point, the moment when you choose to reclaim your power and acknowledge that procrastination is not an inherent trait, but a habit you can break. Consider the story of Caius, the ambitious entrepreneur from ancient Rome we mentioned earlier. He too faced the allure of delay, waiting for the perfect moment that never came. But when he embraced the Stoic mindset, acknowledging his control over his actions and the fleeting nature of time, he began taking one small step after another. Each deliberate action, no matter how imperfect, built momentum. Slowly, Caius transformed his life from one of endless what-ifs into a legacy of decisive, consistent action. Now picture yourself as that modern-day Caius. The techniques you've learned today aren't abstract ideals, they're actionable tools designed to turn your potential into real, tangible progress. Every time you choose action over hesitation, you move closer to a life where procrastination no longer holds you back. A life defined by self-mastery, growth, and fulfillment. The turning point is here. You stand at the edge of transformation, with the wisdom of the Stoics as your guide. Ask yourself, will you continue to let procrastination steal another moment of your precious life, or will you seize the day and step boldly into a future of purpose and achievement? This is the moment when you decide to stop waiting for the perfect time and start building your legacy, one deliberate action at a time. Congratulations, you've now journeyed through powerful Stoic techniques designed to conquer procrastination. From embracing the dichotomy of control and the urgency of Memento Mori to taking those first 5 minutes of action and reflecting each night, you've learned that the key to progress isn't waiting for the perfect moment, but seizing the moment exactly as it is. Now it's time for you to act, reflect, think back over today. What small action did you take? What opportunity did you let slip by? Recognize that each minute you delay is a minute of potential lost. Commit. Choose one of these techniques, whether it's the 5-minute rule or journaling your evening reflections, and resolve to implement it starting right now. Engage, drop a comment below, and share which technique resonates with you the most. Tell us one specific action you're going to take today to defeat procrastination. Subscribe. If you found these insights valuable, hit that subscribe button. Join our community of individuals committed to mastering their time, embracing Stoic wisdom, and living each moment with purpose. Remember, the power to change your habits, and ultimately your life, lies in your ability to act now. Don't let procrastination steal another moment. Stand up, take action, and build the life you deserve, one decisive step at a time. Your journey to a more focused, disciplined, and fulfilling life starts now. Embrace the Stoic mindset and let every moment count. Stay strong, act boldly, and see you in the next video.